Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It is day 2 of the IAA Transportation here in Hannover. Welcome on the QUANTRON stand. And I think it's exciting days here as we are here with QUANTRON as a service, with the Hydrogen Alliance and all our guests here, having you here as guests on the stage as well. And also hello to all our colleagues, friends of the brand, and also guests online, because this is a live web stream we are also having on the website and also on LinkedIn. So hello also to everyone online. As said, it's exciting what we are doing, and I'm very, very proud here with the team as the CMO of QUANTRON, having you here, not only joining the QUANTRON Hydrogen Alliance, but also a better future where QUANTRON wants to play a major role, which is only possible when you have not only an ecosystem of solutions that you see around with the vehicles, but also a clear idea with partners that are strong, that have a good mindset of where we are going into the future. And hydrogen is our topic here today, but there is the godfather of this whole idea to bring zero-emission solutions into commercial vehicles, but also into the whole ecosystem, whether it's coming from a solar panel or wind power, into the vehicles, into the service network, and then into the second life. So I would love to greet Andreas Haller, who is our chairman and founder of QUANTRON, and just asking then, Andreas, tell us a little bit, what was your background on joining not only forces with our colleagues here, but what is QUANTRON as a service for you, and what is the future of QUANTRON here?
Thank you, Martin. First of all, I'd like to say hello to everybody. It's nice to stay here with you and with the QUANTRON fans. Now we are talking about the QUANTRON as a service business model. It's a hydrogen alliance. And I think it's more important to speak about how we can implement the product, the trucks, the hydrogen trucks on the field, included green energy. So this is the most important thing, because the customer needs security. They need the trucks on the road with the ability of 100%. And this is important how we can do that. And when I sold in 2011 the first electric bus in Germany, I can tell you it was not easy, because they said to me, "Oh, Andreas, it's impossible. You cannot do that." But now we know this is the future, and we are talking not about a new normal. QUANTRON is the new normal. But now it's nice to stay here with the colleagues and to speak about how we can work on the Hydrogen Alliance.
Exactly. The Hydrogen Alliance is only possible when you have a strong-minded CEO also who drives us into the future. So Michael, what is the right to win for QUANTRON in this Hydrogen Alliance we are creating, of course, with our partners, with Bayer Power, with Allison, but also with our colleague from Hydrogen Move. So tell us a little bit about the right to win, Michael.
Yeah, first of all, welcome to the colleagues of Allison, the colleagues of Bayer Power, and the colleagues of many other brands who basically believe in zero emission is something which is not a nice to have, it is a must have. And even if some of us might be old enough to survive on that planet by not taking the climate act too serious. I have a daughter who is 15 years old, and I think zero emission is something which unites us all, not just as lipstick on a pig. I think it's a wholehearted commitment. And just for those of you who don't get the numbers, one passenger car produces around about 0.5 tons CO2. One of these trucks creates around about 150 tons of CO2 per year. So we basically replace with one truck going zero emission, 300 passenger car emissions. So decarbonization of a trucking industry, even from my dear friend Greta Thunberg, is a bigger task than the passenger car industry to decarbonize. And all the regulators been focusing on passenger car going zero emission. But I think we're happy, Allison, Bala, Silke, we all believe we have to go faster. And faster, if you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go fast, successful, and make a footprint, you have to have friends. And that's why we have friends here, and we have friends there on the board. These are our QUANTRON partners. And all these partners believe that zero emission transportation is not a nice to have. And most of my peers on the press conferences said, we are zero emission in 2030, in 2035, in 2040. QUANTRON, with Ballard, with Allison, we're zero emission today. And we can only get there if we have partners who walk with us, who deliver amazing fuel cells, amazing e-axles, who lobby for the right decisions. And that's what the alliance is all about. It's OEM agnostic. In the future, in this alliance, there can be other brands, OEM brands. It is technology focused, which is hydrogen, and it's open for many players, being energy players, fuel cell providers, being like Silke, you are in the board of the German Hydrogen Alliance or German Council. So for us, the alliance is something to unite forces and to move hydrogen from the myth of a niche application to a complementary technology to electric. It's not competing, it's complementary. And that's why we have friends who join us on the way to walk faster or more decisive together.
Yeah, thank you very much, Michael. And I think talking about friends, not only friends of the brand, but who made it possible. We have our colleagues from Bayar Power here on stage and Patricia Chong, who is the director for the whole fuel cell program. I think she is the one to know the best about what you see here behind your backs in the baby here. We call the QUANTRON QHM fuel cell truck. So Patricia, tell us a little bit about the USPs, the highlights, so the fuel cell technology that is built into this vehicle.
Sure. Thank you, Martin. First, before I describe about the fuel cell, I just want to say how happy I am to be here at IAA, and I do want to give a shout out to my two colleagues, Tegan Harrower and Martin Arendt, and they are the technical brains behind the FC Move XD. So I will describe the FC Move XD. It's 120 kilowatt, produces 120 kilowatt of power, DC to DC regulated net power. It's designed to be arrayed together. So what that means is you can put two to make 240 kilowatts, or even three to make 360 kilowatts. It's got the DC-DC in there that's close coupled. And it's designed specifically for the truck, and we work with QUANTRON to design it specifically for that MAN TGX truck. So in the fuel cell that's in there, fuel cell stack that's in there, it was designed for automotive, so it's a very high power density stack. So it's got years and years of automotive technology behind that. It's designed to free start from minus 30 degrees and go up to as high as 90 degrees operating temperature. So a lot of technology, Ballard technology into the stack, a lot of Ballard technology into the fuel cell system.
Thank you very much, Patricia. And I think I'm super excited because what we created here is a very dedicated fuel cell for the heavy commercial vehicle that you see also here, and that was only possible with the teams teaming up and creating something that is unique in the market, right? And uniqueness in the market also needs investment, needs some strategy into the future, and that's why we also have Nicolas Pocard here as Vice President for Marketing and Strategic Partnerships from Bayar Power here on stage. And I have a bit tricky question because, first of all, what is the challenges you see for the future of hydrogen, where politics need to improve a little bit? And when also this then happens, what do you expect in the partnership long term between QUANTRON and Bayar Power?
Well, maybe I will answer the question in the other way around. First of all, I think we are very passionate, and I'm passionate about the environment, and I'm passionate about that we have no time to waste.
This micro. You need to change my Chris.
Yeah. Yes, okay, it's better now. Okay, so I was saying that I'm really passionate about the environment and what we are doing at Ballard. And I think we have a really good alignment with the value on QUANTRON. I think we have no time to waste. I think we cannot wait 2027, 2028. We need to move to zero emission today. And I think what we have with QUANTRON, we have a team which is passionate about making it happen, building the vehicle, putting them on the road, and actually decarbonizing the freight sector one truck at a time and starting today. And that's really, for me, was the most important, is getting that alliance, getting that alignment on values, on what we want to do, and make it work. And really working really hard, our technical team, integrating the vehicles they have done today. And this is just the beginning. Now we need to put those vehicles on the road, put more of them, service them. They need to last 5, 7, 10, 20 years, and new generation to keep down. Now, asking me about the challenges we have as an industry. Well, we're only making them one by one. So the cost is higher. Today, a fuel cell truck costs more money than a diesel truck. But you make hundreds of thousands of diesel trucks every year. If you look at a fuel cell system, you look, at the fuel cell engine, actually, it's simpler than a high temperature, very sophisticated combustion engine with gas cleaning like a Euro 6. But because you make it by hundreds of thousands, you can really drive the cost down. A fuel cell, in a way, is more simple. We operate, between 80 to 100, maybe 110 degrees in the future. We don't have any really sophisticated, a lot of commodities like battery. So with scale, with industrialization, working with a partner like QUANTRON, we know that we can reduce the cost. So for me, this is the biggest challenge that we have as an industry, working together of all the components of the truck, from transmission, electric drivetrain, hydrogen storage, hydrogen fuel cell. We really need to work together, driving down the cost, so we can offer to the truck operator a vehicle with a very attractive total cost of ownership. And I think this is what the Alliance is here about, is joining forces to remove those barriers and starting today.
Absolutely. Fully agree. And I think that's why we also joined in a collaborative mode, the Hydrogen Alliance. And you need strong partners, strong spokespersons. And I think since 18 years, there is Silke already working with Hydrogen Moves in the area of hydrogen. So Silke, tell us a little bit, why did you choose this very, very specific topic already back then, so many years ago? And what did you see in the development where it's now going?
First of all, thanks for being here. And hello, hydrogenials. And I'm pretty sure if you're not yet a hydrogenial, you will be after the IAA. Why? Because we show you real products. And this is the main thing. Well, when I look 18 years back, you also look some time back, and for you also, Ballard was one of the first players that I met 18 years ago. For sure, we have to show the product, we have to show what we want to, we have to show you how it works. And in the last weeks, months, and I would say years, but now it's more visible, we did join forces. So this is not something that we learned in the last days. The hydrogen field does that since many years. But now I think we can really leverage on and we can scale up. And we have to use this momentum to really do it. So this is my words, not only as Hydrogen Moves, that we are an amplifying company to bring the correct hydrogen words out, and not to say, oh, perhaps I choose this or that. No, we need both. It's an and, not or, it's and. And this is really important for me and also for the German Hydrogen and Fuel Cell Association. Last week we had an advisory board meeting. For sure, hydrogen is not only in Germany, only in one nation, it's across borders. And so this is, alliance is a fantastic word when we are really working together and not only saying. So for that we are sitting here.
Thanks a lot. And Silke, I think you agree it is only possible when we are having strong collaborations, but also having the inbuilt components that really make you outstanding when it comes to the streets. And that's why I'm very, very happy to have also Alex Shea here on our stage. He's the Managing Director for Electrification at Allison Transmission. And my question is a little bit, Alex, you see now the vehicle here, and we had this morning the press conference from your end, 9 o'clock, also having then the vehicle not only with your transmission inside, but to have now maybe also a new era of e-mobility and fuel cell powered mobility. So tell us about where you're going with the transmissions and with the e-axles into the future, and where do you see also QUANTRON in that?
Yeah,
Thank you, and congratulations to the whole QUANTRON team. On behalf of the whole Allison team, we know how hard you've worked, how fast you've moved to get these new and innovative vehicles in front of us here at IAA. So congratulations, really exciting what you are doing. Just talking a little bit about Allison and our move towards an electrified future. This is not our first electrified product by any means. We actually go all the way back to 2003 with our electric hybrid product. That's done nearly 3 billion miles on the road today. And Michael, I noticed you mentioned the number of cars that are taken off the road with this truck. The number of cars that are taken off the road with our electric hybrid systems that are already in operation total about 800,000. So already made a big impact, but we know that's just the start, and we knew we needed to head forward in electrified propulsion. E-axles is really the first start in that, where we think that's a beautiful solution for heavy-duty vehicles such as these. Just a couple of key points to draw out there. The reason why we think this is such a good solution is not only does it come with the Allison brand quality of reliability and durability, but also it gets that packaging that allows you to be so innovative with your vehicle, fitting the battery pack between the frame rails, freeing up space for hydrogen tanks, getting your long range on a single refueling. It all comes together to enable OEMs and vehicle integrators a lot more flexibility with their vehicles. And then when you get into the efficiency of the system and our parallel axis architecture, that allows customers, OEMs, to do more with less, which of course is, efficiency is the name of the game when it comes to renewable energy. So a few key points there, but happy to dive into further detail if desired.
Thanks a lot, Alex. And I think what is also important is it's built in, so we call it QUANTRON Inside, but it's only possible with our partners to put everything together, like in an orchestra. Someone needs to take the care of putting it together. And again, here also for the whole team that made this possible, maybe in an intermediate applause would be amazing here at this end. So thanks a lot for the team here, also putting it all together.
Thank you.
And after an intermediate applause, we have an online question here inside from Elliot Talbot. So that it's a statistic that it's not repeated very often. So truck going zero emission in the right equivalent of 200 cars. Did I get that right? So one truck going zero emission is the equivalent of 200 vehicles.
Passenger cars.
Passenger cars, absolutely. So Michael, what do you think then? What is the impact that we will be doing with that? Just having not only the trucks there, but also to the reduction of CO2 emissions for the world.
Well, Andreas and me are always debating what is the right number for our vision. Is it 10,000 trucks? Is it 50,000 trucks? But I think we talk about hundreds of thousands of tons of CO2, which we can save cumulatively over time. I always use that analogy. If Greta Thunberg would fly to the IAS, the amount of CO2 we will reduce with our trucks is significantly bigger as a CO2 cloud than all the Teslas which are today on the road. Because it is just a minor contribution on a passenger car. It is a huge contribution on the truck because it drives 100 to 150,000 kilometers per year. It drives 8, 10, 12 years easily. Plus it has the diesel particles. So it's not just CO2, it's also harming your lungs. And I think that's what really decarbonizing the commercial vehicle sector makes so much more environmental relevant. And also keep in mind, a fuel cell truck has around about 100 kilowatt hours of battery. An electric truck with a decent range has 500 to 600 kilowatt of battery. And that means rare earths resources, lithium, cobalt, and all that. So I think decarbonizing trucks and using fuel cells has multiple impacts, of course, under the precondition that we use green hydrogen.
No, thanks a lot. And also thanks for the question from online, from our joinees here on the web stream. I have another question for the Bayard Power team, to Patricia and to Nicolas. So what do you expect in the partnership between QUANTRON and Bayard in the future? And plus, what is the still potential, also still developments that you see for your fuel cells in the future? So it's a economic but also technical question.
So maybe I will answer the first question and then I will let Patricia answer the technology question. Well, I think for us, it's just what I mentioned earlier. It's all about acceleration, how together we can put those trucks on a market. It's the beginning of a journey. I think we started a collaboration back in 2021. We have done a lot. You know, when you think about it, where we are today, having not only one truck, but 2 trucks. So we have one truck with 240 kilowatt of fuel cell, another one with a 45 kilowatt fuel cell. But it's just the beginning. I think we need to continue to work together to make sure that those trucks last on the road. We work on the maintenance, we train the operators. So I think the partnership runs very deep. And actually at Ballard, we have made a commitment. So not only we are a supplier of QUANTRON, we're also an investor in QUANTRON. So we have joined forces. We are contributing and investing in QUANTRON because we believe in their mission. We believe that we'll be able to deliver those trucks to the road. So that's very important. And I think in the coming years, I believe the partnership will strengthen. We are going to make more progress in the integration side. I think that's an area where the efficiency of the vehicle is going to show. So the better integration you do between the transmission or the electric drivetrain, the battery and the fuel cell makes better performance of the vehicle. And it's areas where our collaboration with QUANTRON will really show and deliver more better and better performance on the vehicle.
Amazing.
But I think on the technology side, I will let
Thank
Patricia
you,
respond.
Nicolas.
Thank you. Well, so I do want to talk about technology and working with QUANTRON and the advances that we're seeing. So, I welcome everyone to come to the Ballard booth, take a look at our FC Move XD, and there's so many opportunities for cost reduction. That's the key that we're going to focus on, within the next months, within the coming years, as we start to commercialize fuel cells and fuel cell systems. We built a prototype. It works fantastic, but there's so many opportunities for cost reduction, and that's a great opportunity. So we see, lots of work and, just lots of great opportunities there. The second part I want to talk about is, working with QUANTRON, understanding how the trucks are used, optimizing the control strategy and the hybridization strategy so that we can maximize on fuel efficiency, maximize on component lifetime. When we start to understand how the fuel cells are used, we can develop software and control strategy, hybridization strategy, just to, to maximize the use of the system.
Cool. Thanks a lot. And that's very promising, looking now into the future. And thanks a lot for the very extensive answer here. And
Can I also add something
absolutely,
to that? Because it's very important that we not speak only about the main components in the truck. We have many different components additional on the truck. And to have the right supply with a ready product, it's not easy at the moment. Because some components are ready in 2027, for example. So we need everything together that we can deliver also to the customer. Now here, we are with the big ones together who would like to make it happen now. And this is important that we are together here on the stage, that we can tell the customers we make it happen.
Absolutely. And in the meantime, again, thanks, folks, for being so active online. There was received another question from Bernd Karpfen. And Bernd is asking, will there be a rental solution available for your sexy beasts? So, Michael,
what will be
a rental solution? Is there a rental solution
available?
Rental
solution. Well, we talk with many companies already who do rental, whether it's TIP, whether it's Highlane. So we collaborate with them. We might also at one point look at QUANTRON rental, but we have something which is as good or as powerful. We call it QUANTRON as a service. And QUANTRON as a service will make vehicles available on a TCO-based calculation. And I think that is even one step further. But if clients want to test the vehicle for 6 or 12 months, we already have some friends who have already ordered vehicles, and they will make these vehicles available through their channels, and we of course support it.
Well, thanks a lot, and I think that it's a quite extensive answer talking about QUANTRON as a service. Then again, I think I have a nice question for you, Silke, because I learned that you have a motto, so there's nothing more powerful than an idea whose time has come. So I think that's kind of mantra that we are all maybe also here with QUANTRON living. So Can you explain what you mean by that and what it means for a hydrogen alliance, maybe also having other partners or other players? We call it sometimes frenemies, like the colleagues from Nikola Motors. So what could be the hydrogen alliance in the future, in your opinion?
So, first of all, happy that you read my homepage. That's perfect. And I think this is really important, and afterwards I come to the word alliance, that we bring the right words out and we do it daily, because we show the product, we bring it out daily, but we have to do that really on a basis that the people recognize, okay, this is really a solution that we can go with. And because you're saying here at the moment hydrogen alliance, it's then perfect when it really there is an output. And I think we have to be careful. What we see at the moment, a lot of new players are coming in the field. This is perfect. But our job also is to bring the right persons, companies and targets together. And this is then the point that we can scale up. So, and this is a challenge at the moment, I would say, because when I speak, and it is in the mobility, it's in the storage, it's in the infrastructure pipelines, choose whatever you want out of the hydrogen field, regulations, laws. Okay, yes, we can meet that, but we have to find the right partners so that we can scale up. And we have to look that we are not totally overwhelmed with questions so that we get it in a right direction. So this is our job to do.
Thanks a lot, Silke. And from a great vision, now again going a little bit more into more technical details, I would love to know from Alex a little bit again about the e-axle that we have there. So the USPs, the highlights, a little bit also deeper into what you really have given to us that we also built into the vehicle. So tell us a little bit about the e-axle that is built in.
Yeah, thanks, Martin. You know, as we mentioned earlier, the efficiency in the packaging, that's absolutely critical. But if you just zoom out for a second, just consider what an e-axle needs to do and the functionality that needs to fit within the packaging envelope of an e-axle. You have what would typically be an engine, a large transmission, a driveline, a conventional axle, a control system, thermal management, all of that packaged into a space barely larger than a conventional axle. So you have a lot of know-how and technology and capability that goes into that. When you consider it in that light, you recognize these complex electromechanical systems are probably far closer to a transmission or an engine than they are to a conventional axle. So you get a lot of that capability from a company like Allison. I think one of the things that you never see on a spec sheet is what happens when these systems are out in the field. What happens when they need service or maintenance or something goes wrong? Hopefully it will never happen, but inevitably things do, and it goes to the service network that you have and the aftermarket capability and the channel partners. Allison has 1,500 channel partners around the world geared up to support our products. So it's this kind of capability, as well as the technology, as well as the capability, as well as the product, that helps our customers differentiate their vehicles and add superior value to their customers.
No, thanks a lot for the explanation. As said, it's quite outstanding what we achieved with your support as well here. And again, we can be very proud, especially our engineering team around René Wollmann, together with you and of course with Power, to have this in a super quick time just created here for the IAA in Hannover. In the meantime, again, another online question appeared, and this is again going to Michael and to Andreas. So, are you planning tackling the North America market? Question by Elliot Talbot.
Again, he's very active. Are we thinking about it? 100%. Why? In the US, there are around about 4 million US Class 8 trucks on the road, and we know how to refit them, but we see it also as an interesting market. When will we go? We will study, because we want to go at the right time. I personally believe you cannot go small or medium into the US. You have to go large or X large, or XX large, like your Coke cans. So we have to find the right client. We have to solve the topic of green hydrogen. We have to find a client who is very emission conscious. We need to find the right size of a Ballard fuel cell, maybe even more than 120 kilowatt. And we need to find the right chassis glider partner. We have a lot of ideas, but we save the answer for the 11th and 12th of October, where we will be in Washington and giving a few more insights.
Thank you very much, Michael, and I'm quite excited what will happen in October. So just stay tuned because we have big announcements still to come. Then another question from online coming from Sangram Patil. Sangram is asking, what is the main challenge that is keeping hydrogen technology behind electrification as of today? Open question here to the whole round. So who wants to go first?
I might try with it. I think because initially when you start with the first vehicle, it's easier with a battery electric vehicle. You just have one vehicle, you connect it to your plug almost in your garage and it works. Hydrogen, even on the first vehicle, you need a hydrogen refueling station, you need more infrastructure. So when you start your journey toward electrification, battery electric, it's easier. But as you progress in your journey, as you add more and more vehicle to your fleet, are you expanding your service coverage on your zero emission vehicle? You start also to see some of the limitation you have with battery only. Range, energy, availability at a depot, at a recharging location, the refueling or the recharging time. Those vehicles are more expensive than diesel. You want to utilize those assets as much as possible. You want to keep them on the road, not connected for 4 or 5 hours to be recharged. So all those points don't show up initially. But the more electric vehicle you operate, you start to see the limitation. And then those customers are the first one to come and say, I love my electric truck, and we need battery electric truck for some of the routes. But if you want to achieve 100% zero emission truck fleet, you need both technology. And in general, it's after that initial experience, then the customer comes and they say, okay, now I need longer range truck. I need truck which can recharge extremely quickly. 10 minutes with hydrogen refueling. A truck that I can park in a depot without having to plug them all at night. So I think it takes a bit of time to get there for the user to realize all the benefit of hydrogen.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I think, just adding everything I agree, I think when people think about mobility and hydrogen, they always start with the passenger car first in their mind. And I think we agree passenger car is probably not the best application of hydrogen fuel cell. It might work, but it's not a mass application. When you talk about trucking, it's not the 3.5 ton truck, which is probably ideal. We have a 7.2 ton truck that might make sense. We strongly believe as QUANTRON, the fuel cell is best applied in heavy vehicles, 15, 18 tons up and longer distances. A last mile vehicle which runs 100, 200 kilometers a day doesn't need a fuel cell. So I think it's from all miles driven to transport goods, the majority will be electric. But those miles, which are the long miles and the heavy miles, there the fuel cell has a lot of advantages.
Absolutely. It's all down to the hydrogen energy density. And nothing can beat that. So it's all about the use case, how the truck is going to be used.
Cool. And I think also from the whole consolidation, it's not an either or, it's an and solution.
We need both.
That's what you also see here. It's all battery electric, but also fuel cell powered, available, depending on the customer's requirements, because we should think always out of the customer's mind. I have another last question here from online, and maybe someone here also still has some questions. So if you have a question, then come to the front and we have the microphone here. But from online, I have here the last question again to the round. Maybe also Michael and Andreas can answer that from the QUANTRON side. How do you plan to support the H2 refilling infrastructure needed to take advantage to the next level? So what is our plan here?
Yeah, so again, we are planning to work with some fueling networks. So, for example, with one, they have 2,500 of stations across Europe alone, and we can work with them. And we are looking on the main hydrogen corridors. And we are always in front of the customer. We cannot apply everything now, but we have to work with some customers if they drive, for example, from Paris to Cologne each day. So this is one corridor. It's one part of the hydrogen corridor. And there we can invest into infrastructure, and we can build up also the filling stations on this corridor. Applies to the trucks because we have the uptake on the corridor.
No, and I think that's a solution the world needs, because we need to play in the 360-degree solution system here. Silke.
Yeah, I want to add here also and give you words like European hydrogen backbone. So we need the pipelines, we need for sure. The question comes always, where does the green hydrogen come from? We hear at the moment from the German government, so this is just the German view at the moment, a lot of thoughts, okay, we go to this country, I don't say any country because I don't want to bring out one view here, but let's have a look to us and to the neighborhood. So this is one thing that we have to do right now. This is a European hydrogen backbone. Look to Scotland, for example, but also for the other countries and for Germany itself, because we have to do that in parallel. The decentralized production and storage, I would say from our perspective, this is also something that has changed. For 5 years ago, the people would say, okay, this is not efficient. But now I think it has changed. And for sure, it's better we have some percentage of efficiency than zero. So this is a point we have to switch our thinking a little bit, and this would be here my last words for the hydrogen thing. Yeah, let's do it, and let's do it now.
Let's do it now. Thanks. That's nice words, Silke. Cool. Is there any more questions from our guests here on the stand? Don't be shy. If not, my suggestion would be the last words from our founder, Andreas Haller.
First, I have to say thank you to everybody here who is believing in us the last 3 years, because it was not easy to tell everything about the new mobility, about zero emission that is important. I spoke also to colleagues from other brands that told me, oh, they are coming, our customers, and they need diesel trucks, and we only have zero emission trucks here on the stand. It's so crazy. But I think we have to think about the future, and we have to bring zero emission trucks and mobility on the road because of our future. We have no choice. That's it, and let's make it happen together with the Alliance. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Applause. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And thanks for joining. Enjoy the IAA.